And welcome to Dollars and Cents. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm your host, Heather Sullivan. And for the next 30 minutes, we're going to show you ways to save a lot of money. We're going to help you cut your expenses and make some smart moves. We're bringing you the best consumer reporting from Fox stations across the country, all to empower you financially. Today, student loan payments are coming due. I know you're feeling it. No idea how you're going to pay that on top of all this inflation? You're not alone. We're going to show you the repayment options that could save you money and the scams to watch out for. Planning to travel for the holidays? We've got the window of time to book your flights that will save you the most money. Auto insurance rates continue to accelerate. We're going to look at the reasons why and how to get your premiums back in the slow lane. And hey gamers, you know there's some money in video games, big money. Millions of dollars in scholarships are available in esports, and more colleges are offering esports programs. First though, for everyone who is stressed out about student loan payments resuming, I want you to take a deep breath because we've got a little bit of relief. Not everyone has to make a payment this month. Some are actually receiving statements from their loan servicers that their first payment is due in November or December or maybe even next year. Why is that happening? Well, your last payment can affect your due date. Many people made their usual payment back in March of 2020. Remember that? This is before former President Trump announced the pause on federal student loan bills and the pause on interest accrual. So depending on when your loan servicer received your last funds, it may have been considered an extra payment that has pushed you back to your next due date. Plus, borrowers who made repeated payments during the pause will likely have even more time, and recent graduates may still be in a grace period, which means it's usually about 6 months from graduation. So whenever your payment is due, many borrowers are saying it is coming on top of mounting credit card debt.
College is already expensive enough. I have like a considerable amount of credit card debt, and I'm able to just barely manage it.
A lot of people feel like that. They are worried about how they will manage these student loan payments on top of growing debt and, of course, the higher cost of living. So there thankfully are some new and improved payment plans that are available to help borrowers manage payments. You got President Biden's new SAVE plan that is income driven, and it could mean payments as low as $0 a month depending on your income. Fox 9's Leah Benno spoke with a financial planner, and she does a great job of breaking down what you can do to make your student loan payments fit into your budget.
Interest on federal loans already started accruing at the beginning of the month, September 1st, and by now borrowers should have received a notice the first payment is due October 1st. Experts ranging from the Attorney General's office to financial planners say it's time to get organized. So that's the first question. What do borrowers need to do to prepare?
Absolutely, first and foremost, organize. The more organized you are, the better you'll be, the more protected you'll be. Look at old receipts of old payments, identify what your lenders, who they are. A lot of the service providers have changed, and so you need to make sure you make the phone call. Who is now in charge of my loan? What type of loan do I have? And really look in to gather some data on that loan.
What if you know you can't afford a payment? There are a couple of options. There's a process called forbearance, which if you are going through an economic hardship, you can delay payments for up to 12 months. Deferment is a situation of which your interest will still accrue, but you won't have to make payments. You can also explore private loans, but ask your lender about any possible stipulations if you go that route. Then there's the newest option, the SAVE program. In this case, you will not owe loan payments if you are a single borrower earning $32,800 or less, or a family of 4 earning $67,500 or less.
The route to go now is to use the new SAVE program. That's what the Biden administration rolled out. It's an income-based program, and so you're going to submit your income plus your family size, and it'll determine what your payments will be. And if you make those payments, your interest will no longer accrue. So your balance will stay the same as far as paying it down, but the interest will not be added on top of it.
What if you don't plan and simply miss a payment?
Interesting situation with that. So the U.S. government has said there's a ramp-up period. So they're going to give you 12 months. They're not going to report you as delinquent, but that doesn't mean you're free and clear. The reporting agencies or credit agencies may actually decrease your credit score based on you missing payments. So the ramp-up period will help. And also, too, if you had missed some payments in the past, there are some programs that you can catch back up. I think that's even a bigger piece of it. So if you miss October, November, you want to get caught back up in December, make sure you call your lender and make sure you get on record making those payments back, because the key to the SAVE program is making religious payments. Don't miss. You need to make sure you're making those payments.
Some other key reminders from certified financial planner Andy Tate include if you auto-enrolled in the past, you must do it again. Tax time will be another time to review all of this because, for example, a married couple filing separately could actually reduce their payments. Plus, be aware of scams. As new programs roll out, scammers often show up. Finally, be sure to verify information given to you with the federal calculators available. Studentaid.gov is the best place to start.
So be prepared for some headaches. It's not going to be a smooth rollout. I think there are 4 million people that have already gone through this in the last few weeks. So this is going to be, the system will be tested. So getting an earlier start on this is wise.
While this is a ramp-up period, there will be changes between now and when the program goes fully into effect July of next year. So there's a lot to keep track of. We've put much more information and resources on our website, fox9.com.
Houston.com as well. Now, you heard Leah mention a big problem, and that's scams. The Better Business Bureau is warning they're already seeing student loan payment scams preying on borrowers who just want some debt reliefs. So Fox's Sunny Sai talked with a UT graduate and shows you what to look out for.
If you click on this link, we'll give you $5,000 for your student loan repayment. And you just have to fill out this application.
That was an email UT graduate Kelsey Leffingwell received from a scammer.
I also have received text messages from people claiming to be random people that would offer me loan repayment.
As a recent graduate, Leffingwell will start making her first ever student loan payments beginning next month. She is not excited about her extra bills, but she is thankful she has a job to help her make those payments.
I have income, and so for a lot of people, it's easy to fall into those scams when you don't have money coming in and you really need help.
According to the Federal Trade Commission, people reported losing about $21 million to phone fraud in 2022, and that was before student loan interest rates were back in the picture.
Students have received, nearly as many robocalls around student debt in the first 2 weeks since they've been back at school, prior to the same 3 months before that.
Recently, Tyrell says there have been over 100,000 calls made weekly to scam borrowers.
Are we catching all of them? Probably not. So if you were to, multiply that by, a little bit of a factor, that'll say that there's several 100,000 that are getting these types of calls every single week.
Before you make payments via text, online, or by phone, Tyrell says always confirm directly with the organization you owe money to that the message did come from them.
And if you let's switch gears, we'll talk about something a little more fun now. So if you're planning to fly home for the holidays, this is actually the time to book your trip right now, according to travel experts. To save money, they say book your trip no later than October 14th. Economists say while airfare is relatively low, prices are going to spike in the weeks just before Thanksgiving and Christmas. For Christmas, domestic flights are averaging $400 per round trip, and that's actually about a 30% increase from pre-pandemic prices. And now, I'm sure you've also been noticing that your auto insurance rates have been rising. Well, premiums have been going up for drivers across the country. Some say their policies have doubled or even tripled. So first, we need to understand why this is happening, and Fox's Justin Matthews explains.
Have you looked at your auto policies lately?
I've seen it almost double, actually.
That seems to be the trend for a lot of insured drivers, not just here in Florida, but across the nation.
Every 6 months before the $1,500 a year, she was paying about $400 every 6 months.
Which was $800.
$800 a year. Now it's gone up to almost twice as much.
It's a tough pill to swallow.
Upset because you did nothing wrong, no tickets, no accidents, but yeah, you still being penalized. That's kind of how you feel about it.
Drivers want to know why. Experts say it's inflation.
And when the cost of all those things go up, then there's only really one thing that happens to the cost of auto insurance. And the cost of a lot of things go up gradually anyway, but we've seen sort of an explosive bout of inflation over the last year or so.
Bob Passmore with the American Property Casualty Insurance Association says the severity of auto insurance claims have gone up about 36% over the last couple of years. And loss ratios have jumped from less than 60% to now 100%, meaning insurance companies are paying out more than what they're bringing in. Medical expenses are up, Auto repair costs are up. Passmore says all of that impacts auto insurance. That's why you're paying more.
We're doing what we can do. That's all we can do is watch what you spend, watch what you eat, grocery bills. Yeah.
Just the way we have to allocate our finances, just kind of working harder, working overtime, and just making ends meet.
The AAA Auto Club says drivers have picked up bad habits during the pandemic, like speeding, phone use, and running red lights. Experts say drivers got used to the roads being empty. That's not the case anymore. And with crashes and claims on the rise, all insured drivers are paying for it.
But now I want to take a hard look at one of the reasons that may also be driving up your auto insurance rates. In many states, auto insurers can use your credit score as a factor in setting your insurance rates. And that means if you have racked up credit card debt during all of this high inflation over the last couple of years, that could also be contributing to your higher insurance rates. So here's a look at an investigation I did on this issue. And after that, I'm going to show you how to reduce your rates. The advocacy group Texas Appleseed says they found that a driver with good credit in Harris County pays an average of $571 a year for auto insurance. They say that a similar driver with the same good driving record, same car, same age, same gender, but with bad credit, pays an average of nearly $1,100 a year. And it has nothing to do with how they drive. In addition to your gender, age, city, and driving record, insurance companies can use your credit score to set your auto insurance rate.
The difference in Texas between a person with excellent credit and a person with poor credit, it can be as much as $400 or more.
And take a look at what Consumer Reports found.
They found that somebody who has a perfect driving record but low credit living in Texas will pay on average $1,000 more for coverage than somebody who has excellent credit but was convicted of drunk driving.
Convicted of drunk driving. And communities of color or lower income that often struggle with lower credit scores are hit the hardest.
It's higher premiums in communities of color and low income communities because credit plays such a role in our auto insurance. And that's really unfair.
The result, some drivers can't afford to buy insurance.
We want the market to be fair because it benefits everybody when all the drivers on the road carry auto insurance. It helps protect people's health and lives and property.
California, Hawaii, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, Oregon, Utah, and Washington have banned insurance companies from using credit history to set insurance rates. Advocacy group Texas Appleseed sent this letter to the Federal Insurance Office calling for change. Meantime, you can appeal your insurance rate by notifying your insurer if an adverse event, like losing a job or medical bills, is hurting your credit score. And you can work to improve your credit score.
Drivers who improve their credit score just by one tier can save about 20% on their annual insurance premiums.
You can also take a defensive driving course, avoid accidents and getting tickets, and shop around for the lowest auto insurance rates. And let's add to that right now, because there's a bunch of ways that can help to reduce your auto insurance premium. So here they are. You can increase your deductible. You can ask about discounts that you qualify for. You can shop around, as I mentioned, compare the auto insurance quotes from different companies. You can take a defensive driving course, work to improve that credit score, try and pay down some debt. Telematics, that's the latest thing. That's when your insurance company will give you a device. You put it in the car. It records how you drive. You get rewarded for good driving behavior. Or you can participate in a low mileage plan if you don't drive all that much. You can always bundle your policies with home or renter's insurance and ask about good student discounts for those teenage drivers in your household. I know that's a biggie. Well, if you are planning to travel abroad, the rush of passport applications is still resulting in delays, even now that summer is over. And travelers who couldn't get their passports in time say they've either had to reschedule or even miss trips, sometimes losing thousands of dollars. Fox's Dana Fell talked with one traveler whose passport finally arrived, but it was too late.
My whole family lives in and around Glasgow, Scotland.
It's Laura Sheener's parents' homeland and a place she's visited her whole life.
It's always been, a dream of mine to be able to share Scotland with friends.
So with her friends, they started planning 10 years ago.
But we definitely knew that, like, hey, when we turn 40, we should all go for this huge trip together.
But what wasn't in the plans for their landmark birthday trip was to collide with the worst passport backlog in history. This bipartisan letter sent in April to the U.S. State Department from 194 members of Congress notes passport offices are getting 500,000 applications a week. That's up 40% from last year.
Used to be a prompt, quick turnaround.
The Sheeners mailed off their passports in April for renewal, but concerns about their June 13th departure started immediately.
It said 7 to 10 weeks after we had sent it in.
That would be close, but fortunately, they paid an extra $200 for expedited processing and one-day shipping, just to be safe.
And about a month in, I'm like, well, it's still not here yet. Maybe I should investigate further.
Well, hold on for record-setting hold times. Her first call, 2 hours.
That music is imprinted in my mind forever.
She says she never got through. Tried again the next day. Hold time, an hour and a half. This time she got a recorded message. If her trip was less than 2 weeks away, go ahead and push 3, which ended up being a road to nowhere.
It said, we're sorry. Due to a large call volume, we are not able to take your call at this time.
This routine went on for some time before she actually spoke to somebody.
I spoke to an operator who was lovely and helpful and said that she was marking our passport as urgent.
But Thursday, before her Tuesday, June 13th flight, still no passports. One agent told her she would need an emergency passport appointment. Great. But the first available was June 20th, long after the departure date.
We are receiving frantic calls and outreach from a lot of our constituents.
Congressional offices report too much of their staff time right now is taking constituent calls looking for passport help. Georgia Congresswoman Nikema Williams was the lead signatory on that letter to Washington asking the U.S. State Department to fix this backlog. Her office took Laura's frustrated call.
That there were at least 80 people ahead of me who are in a similar situation as me here in Atlanta.
Congresswoman Washington's office sent her to Senator Warnock, who helped fast-track the process. Here's what's canceling dream vacations and delaying important emergency trips. The U.S. Secretary of State in a hearing said COVID started this whole mess. The shutdown meant no traveling. Staff was let go. Now they're short-staffed. The online renewal system is shut down for tweaking. It's only snail mail now, and more Americans than ever want passports. The Sheeners' renewed passports did arrive with congressional intervention, but only hours before her Tuesday flight. It was too late.
But unfortunately, our best friends that we were traveling with, they had non-refundable tickets.
The group canceled the trip the night before to try to salvage some lost money on those flights and hotels.
Go ahead and get your passport renewal process started because there's definitely no guarantees that it'll arrive in time for you to get on the plane and get to your destination.
So true, but here are things you can do. There is a happy ending here if you go down these routes. The State Department recommends applying for a passport 6 months before your trip or before your passport expires. To get it faster, you can pay that $60 for expedited service. And if you're traveling within 2 weeks, you can call the National Passport Information Center for an appointment. And if you're willing to drive to an office that's maybe a couple hours away in a smaller town, smaller area, you can get a faster appointment that way. And you can also still call your congressional or Senate office for help. All right, 3 seconds is all it takes. That's how short of a recording of your voice can be for a scammer to clone it and then rip off your family. They're doing it with artificial intelligence. They create a fake emergency that your loved one is in trouble and you have to pay up. But really, you are being scammed. So Fox 4 consumer reporter Steve Noviello talked to experts who demonstrate just how frightening this trend is.
It's 2 o'clock in the morning. You're fast asleep, but jarred awake by your ringing phone, and you answer. On the other end,
help me.
It's your daughter, and she's in trouble.
Mom, please help. I just got robbed.
Or is she?
We're in the business of protecting the consumer.
Greg Bohl is the chief data officer for TNS Communications. You see the work his company does to tag potentially problematic calls to your cell phone all the time.
So when I get a phone call that says spam likely, that's you?
That's us.
His company processes some 1.2 billion calls each day to try and keep bad actors from accessing you. But those actors are making advancements that put your voice in the leading role. All thanks to artificial intelligence.
Steve, you're a really popular guy on the internet, right? They can take your voice, it's everywhere. Take a clip, they can record it, then they'll manipulate it and have your voice create a sentence to do anything they want it to do.
But here's the real danger. Greg says we're not talking about
this pit,
that
ice home, Michelle Pfeiffer,
that
white
gold.
This popular YouTube mashup of President Obama he showed us, edited to make it sound like he's reciting song lyrics. This is the extraction of your tone and cadence to artificially generate your voice to speak sentences you never uttered.
So how convincing is it? So convincing that we're using the software right now to tell you this story.
This isn't audio I recorded. It's my voice artificially generated. And if you're thinking, well, I'm not a newscaster, my voice isn't on the internet.
Think again. Capturing a recording of your voice is far easier than you realize.
Everybody likes the custom voicemail that says, hey, it's me, leave a message. Guess what? That's greater than 3 seconds. I can take that clip from your voicemail and duplicate it and put you in a very bad situation.
Bohl used his own daughter as an example. Here's her voice in a TikTok video.
Look at this delicious crunch roll. Isn't it just to die for?
Here's that same voice sample manipulated by AI.
Mom, please help. I just got robbed. Help me.
Here's me, source audio.
There's actually a real psychology behind decluttering your space.
AI.
Yes, I've been in a bad accident. I give this guy some money so I can go to the hospital.
Sounds just like you.
I mean, listen, and if my mom got that phone call, I guarantee you, she'd have her checkbook open.
Bohl says the most susceptible are the elderly and parents because scammers prey on highly charged, confusing, or high-stress situations.
They'll attack our emotions.
And it's working. According to the Federal Trade Commission, last year, consumers got duped of more than $11 million to fake voice scams. How can you stop it?
My recommendation to a consumer is think about a safe word for your family that only you and your family knows.
A simple solution for sounder sleep.
That safe word is an easy way to identify whether or not it actually is your family member on the other end of the phone. These AI manipulations, by the way, are processed in real time, which means that scammers can carry on an actual conversation with you and even respond to your questions. I'm Steve Noviello. That's my 2 cents. Spend it wisely.
Scary. But now let's look at some technology that's being used for good: education and job creation. The world of competitive video gaming has exploded, with millions of people tuning in just to watch professional gamers battle it out. Well, colleges are now getting in on the action, and they're forming esports labs and offering programs in video gaming, and there are millions of dollars being offered in scholarships. Students are essentially playing video games to earn money for college, as Fox Brett Lemoyne shows us.
Now we're going on the attack of the other team.
Sam Rick is blasting away in a game of Rocket League. He's one of 80 students enrolled in Waukesha County Technical College's new esports program. WCTC's 1,800 square foot gaming lab just opened Tuesday morning.
My goal is just to earn some money during college.
Coach Ian Sheely says there's a total of $18 million in scholarships available to students across the country right now just to play competitive video games at the college level.
What do you say to people who undoubtedly will watch this and say, you're creating couch potatoes? What's your response to that?
We try to avoid those types of stereotypes, and we try to focus on the positives of gaming.
WCTC students must maintain at least a 2.0 GPA to stay on the team. Sheely hopes to instill problem solving and critical thinking skills among his players.
The other criticism of video games is that they're violent.
There's violence in everything: movies, music.
At 26 years old, Sheely says he's already logged 3 years as a professional in the industry.
98% of people under 18 play video games on their phones, on a console, on a PC.
Brandon Chalker is the founder of Milwaukee Esports Alliance. The group helps connect 30 Wisconsin colleges and technical colleges with an esports program. Chalker says students aren't just clicking their way to tuition, they're earning a living.
Many people pay for their rent, pay for a lot of things with their esports winnings.
Rick just wants to win.
It's a source of entertainment for all of us, just to give us a break from everything that's going around us.
WCTC hopes to hold future tournaments in this space, and the head coach tells me everyone is invited to join the team regardless of their experience level. Reporting in Pewaukee, Brett Lemoyne, Fox 6 News.
All right, and you know, Elon Musk made headlines last week when he said his X social media platform, formerly Twitter, might soon charge a monthly fee for users. So would you pay to use social media sites? I wouldn't. But Fox 26 business reporter Tom Ziska is finding out that it is a conversation that could be worth billions of dollars.
It's a question a lot of us could ponder. Statistics show there are 4.8 billion social media users worldwide, more than half of us spending a collective 11.5 billion hours on various platforms every single day. Right now, it's all free to use, as our very presence online is the product that those platforms sell to advertisers. But with such an ingrained place in our daily lives, reaction is mixed about attaching a price tag to the experience. How much are you willing to pay a month for social media?
$0.
I'll just find something else to do.
Not a red cent.
Not a red cent, man.
How much are you willing to pay monthly for your Instagram?
$9.99. I was gonna say $5.
You pay $5?
Yeah.
You'd pay $10.
Yeah. Not bad. I don't know. I just figured because like everything's $9.99.
A new survey from online casino and sportsbook review site Bonus Finder suggests while 2 of every 5 Americans would not pay to use social media, more than half of respondents would pay, sometimes a lot. Broken down by age groups, millennials are most open to the idea, willing to pay more than $75 a month for social media access, totaling more than $900 a year. Gen Z, Gen X, and baby boomers are all less willing, with older users being the most frugal. By state, New Yorkers are most tied to their social media, willing to spend almost $100 a month, more than $1,100 a year to get their online fix. Texans, though, are not far behind, coming in 8th among the top 10 would-be spenders, willing to pay more than $45 a month to stay connected. Elon Musk says this payment possibility is about keeping fake bots off the X platform. But with this survey finding that Americans on average will pay up to $41 a month for social media access, it's also about a whole lot of money. Watching Your Money, I'm Tom Ziska, Fox 26 News.
That's a great look at that. Now, if this were to happen, it would be just like subscriptions, and we'd all end up signing up for more than we realize. That can add up fast, so let's just hope it doesn't come to that. That's our show for this week. You'll find more ways to save on Sullivan's Smart Sense